morning, everyone. Today I want to dive deep into a concept that's not just philosophical or spiritual, it's transformational. It's a principle that has the power to shift your mindset, reignite your faith, and remind you that no matter what, there's a greater purpose in motion. That principle is this: God works in mysterious ways. Think about it. How many times in your life have you faced moments that seemed unbearable? Times when you felt lost, broken, or stuck in a dark place with no way out. We've all been there. But let me tell you something. Those moments were never the end of your story. They were chapters designed to refine you, not define you. We often want clarity, we want answers, we want the path to be laid out in front of us, clear as day. But here's the truth. Life doesn't work that way, and neither does faith. If everything were predictable, there would be no room for growth, no space for miracles, and no opportunity for transformation. You see, God doesn't give us the answers up front because the journey itself is the answer. The struggle shapes you, the detours teach you, the delays prepare you. Let me share a story with you. There was a man who lost his job, a job he had built his entire identity around. He was devastated. He felt abandoned and wondered, why me? But instead of wallowing, he decided to trust that there was a bigger plan at work. Months later, he started a small business, something he'd always dreamed of but never had the courage to pursue. That business grew into something far beyond what he imagined. And you know what he said? Losing that job was the best thing that ever happened to me. That's the power of God's mysterious ways. What looks like rejection can be redirection. What feels like failure can be the foundation for your future. And what seems like the end could very well be the beginning of something extraordinary. But here's the key. You have to trust. Trust isn't passive, it's active. It's waking up every day, even when it's hard, and choosing to believe that the dots will connect. It's taking one step forward even when the road ahead is foggy. And let me tell you something else. God's timing is perfect. Not early, not late, but right on time. The problem is we live in a world of instant gratification. We want everything now. But growth takes time. Breakthroughs take time. Miracles take time. You might not understand why you're going through what you're going through right now, and that's okay. It's not your job to understand everything. It's your job to keep moving, to keep believing, and to keep becoming the person you were created to be. So as you leave here today, I challenge you. Embrace the mystery. Lean into the uncertainty. Find strength in the struggle, because on the other side of that mystery is a masterpiece that only God could create. Remember, the same power that created the stars, the oceans, and the mountains is at work in your life. It's not random, it's not meaningless, it's divine. Stay faithful, stay hopeful, and always remember, God works in mysterious ways. Trusting the process is one of the most difficult yet powerful things you can do in life. It requires surrendering control, embracing uncertainty, and believing that everything is happening for a reason, even when that reason isn't immediately clear. Most people struggle with this because we live in a world that prioritizes instant gratification. We want results now, we want answers now, we want success now, but life doesn't work that way. Growth doesn't work that way, transformation doesn't work that way. The process is where everything happens. It's where we are tested, refined, and prepared for what's to come. Think about a seed. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't see anything happening on the surface right away. Days pass, weeks pass, sometimes even months, and there is no visible sign of progress. But underneath the soil, something is happening. The seed is breaking open, roots are growing, and it's laying the foundation for what will eventually break through the ground. If you were to dig up the seed too soon because you didn't see results, you would destroy its potential before it ever had a chance to grow. This is exactly what happens when people lose faith in the process. They give up too soon because they don't see results, not realizing that something is happening beneath the surface. Life's greatest achievements don't happen overnight. Every person who has accomplished something great has had to go through a process, a season of preparation, struggle, and unseen progress. If you look at the most successful people in the world, whether in business, sports, or personal development, they all have something in common. They endured setbacks, failures, and obstacles, but they didn't quit. They understood that success isn't about instant results. It's about consistent effort over time. The process will test you. It will push you beyond your comfort zone. It will challenge you in ways you never expected. You might question yourself. You might doubt your abilities. You might even wonder if you're on the right path at all. But those moments of doubt are actually a sign that you're growing. If everything were easy, there would be no growth. If there were no struggle, there would be no strength. Every difficult moment you face is part of your preparation. It's shaping you into the person you need to become to handle what's coming next. Most people think they're ready for success, but they're not. They want the reward without the process. But the process is where you develop the skills, resilience, and mindset required to sustain success when it comes. Imagine if you were handed everything you ever wanted right now. Would you be able to handle it? Would you be prepared for the responsibilities, challenges, and pressures that come with it? Most people wouldn't. That's why the process exists, to prepare you, to strengthen you, to equip you for the future. And there are times when the process feels unfair. You work hard, but nothing seems to be changing. You put in the effort, but you're not seeing results. You give your all, but it feels like you're stuck in the same place. In those moments, it's easy to feel frustrated. It's easy to think that things aren't working out for you, but what if everything is actually working in your favor? What if this delay is protecting you from something you're not ready for? What if this challenge is actually a blessing in disguise, teaching you something you need for the next level of your life? One of the greatest examples of trusting the process comes from nature. Think about a butterfly. Before it can fly, it has to go through the struggle of breaking out of its cocoon. If you were to help a butterfly by cutting open the cocoon, thinking you were making things easier, it would never develop the strength in its wings to fly. The struggle is necessary. The process is necessary. Without it, the butterfly wouldn't survive. The same applies to life. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of struggle is strengthening you. It's giving you the endurance, the wisdom, and the resilience you need. It's preparing you for something greater than you can see right now. Most people don't understand this in the moment. They see struggle as a sign that something is wrong, when in reality, it's a sign that something's right. Growth happens in discomfort. Strength is built in adversity. Success is earned through persistence. The process will also force you to let go of things that no longer serve you. You might lose relationships, opportunities, or things you once valued. But understand this, when something leaves your life during the process, it's making room for something better. Sometimes we hold on to things that are actually holding us back. We cling to comfort even when it's keeping us small. We resist change even when it's the very thing we need to move forward. The process will strip away everything that isn't aligned with your purpose. It will remove distractions, break down old habits, and push you into the person you're meant to be. There will be moments when you feel alone in the process, when you feel like no one understands what you're going through. But remember, every great person who has achieved something meaningful has walked this path. They have faced doubt, fear, and uncertainty. They have questioned whether they were on the right path. But they kept going. They didn't allow temporary emotions to dictate permanent decisions. They stayed the course because they understood that the process was leading them to something greater. The key to trusting the process is shifting your mindset. Instead of focusing on what's not happening, focus on what's being developed within you. Instead of looking at what you lack, look at what you're gaining. Every challenge is building you. Every delay is refining you. Every setback is setting you up for a greater comeback. When you understand this, you stop resisting the process and start embracing it. Most people look at failure as an end, but failure is never the end. It's feedback. It's information. It's a lesson wrapped in disguise. Every time you fail, you're learning something. You're discovering what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change. When you see failure as part of the process, you stop fearing it. You stop avoiding challenges. You stop playing small. You realize that every setback is actually a setup for something greater. Trusting the process doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means taking action even when you don't see immediate results. It means showing up every day, putting in the work, and believing that your efforts will pay off. It means understanding that greatness isn't built in a day. It's built in the consistent, disciplined choices you make over time. When you commit to trusting the process, you stop looking for shortcuts. You stop comparing your journey to others. You stop expecting overnight success. Instead, you focus on your own path, your own growth, and your own progress. You realize that everything is happening exactly as it should, even if you don't fully understand it in the moment. The process is where the real transformation happens. It's where you develop the character, the discipline, and the resilience to handle what's coming next. It's where you grow into the person who is capable of receiving the blessings you've been praying for. Without the process, the destination wouldn't mean anything. The struggle makes the success meaningful. The challenges make the victories worth it. If you're in a season of waiting, struggling, or feeling stuck, remember this: the process is working in your favor. It's shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for something greater. Stay patient, stay committed, stay faithful. Rejection is something that everyone experiences at some point in their lives. It comes in different forms: getting turned down for a job, being left out of an opportunity, facing the end of a relationship, or simply not receiving the support or validation you were hoping for. When rejection happens, it can feel like a personal attack, as if the world is telling you that you're not good enough. But what if rejection isn't actually working against you? What if it's redirecting you towards something better, something more aligned with your purpose? People often associate rejection with failure. When something doesn't go the way they planned, they assume it means they weren't meant for success or happiness. But rejection is never about failure. It's about alignment. It's about being guided away from something that isn't for you and being pushed towards something that is. The problem is that most people don't see it that way in the moment. Instead of viewing rejection as redirection, they take it personally. They let it damage their self-worth. They allow it to create fear, making them hesitant to try again. The truth is, rejection is one of the most powerful tools for growth. It forces you to reevaluate, to adapt, to improve. It makes you stronger, more resilient, and more determined. Some of the most successful people in the world have faced massive rejection before achieving their goals. They didn't let it stop them. They understood that rejection wasn't the end. It was just a stepping stone. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to rejection. One of the most important things to understand about rejection is that it's often protection in disguise. Sometimes what you want isn't actually what's best for you. You may have had your heart set on a job, a relationship, or an opportunity only to be denied. In the moment, it feels painful. It feels like a loss. But what if you had gotten what you wanted, only to realize later that it wasn't right for you? What if that job would have made you miserable? What if that relationship would have held you back? What if that opportunity wasn't meant to take you where you're truly supposed to go? Rejection is one of the ways life protects you from settling. It keeps you from staying in places that aren't aligned with your purpose. It keeps you moving forward. The problem is most people don't trust that process. They see rejection as a punishment rather than guidance. But when you start to shift your perspective, everything changes. Instead of letting rejection discourage you, you start to see it as a sign that something better is on the way. Think about the times in your life when rejection led to something greater. Maybe to get the job you wanted, but later found a better opportunity. Maybe a relationship ended and it allowed you to grow in ways you never expected. Maybe you were denied an opportunity only to realize later that it wasn't right for you in the first place. In hindsight, it's easy to see how rejection redirected you. The challenge is trusting that in the moment. The reason rejection feels so painful is because it often hits our deepest insecurities. It makes us question whether we're good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough. It plays on our fears of not being accepted or valued. But rejection isn't a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of direction. Just because something didn't work out doesn't mean you're not good enough. It just means that path wasn't meant for you. And when you learn to separate rejection from your self-worth, you take back your power. One of the biggest mistakes people make after facing rejection is letting it create hesitation. They become afraid to try again. They let one rejection turn into self-doubt, and that doubt stops them from pursuing their goals. But rejection is never meant to stop you. It's meant to strengthen you. It's meant to teach you, refine you, and push you to keep going. The most successful people aren't the ones who never face rejection. They're the ones who refuse to let rejection define them. Rejection is also a test of how much you really want something. If one setback is enough to make you quit, then maybe you weren't fully committed in the first place. But if you're willing to push through rejection, to keep going despite the obstacles, that's when you prove to yourself and the world that you're serious about your goals. Every rejection you face is an opportunity to grow. It's a chance to learn, to improve, and to come back stronger. People who understand this don't fear rejection, they embrace it. They see it as part of the process. They know that every no brings them closer to the right yes. They don't take rejection personally, and they don't let it define them. They see it as feedback, as guidance, as redirection. And because of that mindset, they keep moving forward no matter what obstacles come their way. There's also something powerful about learning to let go of what isn't meant for you. When you cling to something that isn't right, you block yourself from receiving what is. Many people spend so much time dwelling on rejection that they miss the opportunities that are right in front of them. They get so caught up in what didn't work out that they fail to see what's waiting for them. But when you trust that rejection is redirection, you stop holding on to things that no longer serve you. You let go of the past and open yourself up to new possibilities. Think about how much energy people waste fighting rejection. They try to force things that aren't meant for them. They chase after people who don't value them. They hold on to jobs, relationships, and situations that are no longer serving them. But the moment they let go, they create space for something better. They make room for what's truly aligned with their purpose. Rejection also teaches you resilience. It forces you to develop a thicker skin. It pushes you to become stronger, more determined, and more persistent. Every time you face rejection and keep going, you build resilience. You prove to yourself that you can handle setbacks. And the more resilient you become, the less fear you have. You stop being afraid of hearing no because you know it's just part of the process. Some of the greatest success stories come from people who refuse to let rejection stop them. Famous authors who were rejected by dozens of publishers before their books became bestsellers. Entrepreneurs who failed multiple times before building million-dollar businesses. Artists who were told they weren't talented enough, only to later become icons in their field. The common theme among all of them, they didn't give up after rejection. They used it as motivation to keep going. Rejection isn't a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's a sign that you're being redirected to something better. It's a test of your commitment, a lesson in resilience, and a reminder that you are always being guided towards something greater. The only way rejection can truly stop you is if you let it. The choice is yours. Will you let rejection break you, or will you use it as fuel to push forward? When you learn to see rejection as redirection, you start to welcome it. You stop taking it personally and start seeing it as a necessary part of growth. Every rejection becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes an opportunity. Every no becomes a step closer to the right yes. And with that mindset, nothing can stop you. Growth requires uncertainty because without uncertainty, there is no challenge. And without challenge, there is no progress. People crave comfort, predictability, and security, but growth never happens in comfort zones. The very nature of growth demands stepping into the unknown, facing fears, and embracing discomfort. The reason so many people stay stuck is because they resist uncertainty. They want guarantees before they take action. They want to know exactly how things will work out before they start. But that's not how life works. The greatest opportunities, transformations, and breakthroughs come when you step into the unknown, not when you stay where it's safe. Uncertainty forces you to develop faith, resilience, and adaptability. When you don't have all the answers, you learn to trust yourself. You learn to rely on your instincts, to problem solve, and to build the confidence that no matter what happens, you'll figure it out. This is why uncertainty is a gift. It pushes you to grow in ways you never would if everything were easy and predictable. Most people don't see it that way. They see uncertainty as something to be feared, something to avoid. But the truth is, uncertainty is a sign that you are expanding, that you are evolving, that you are stepping into new levels of your potential. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for certainty before taking action. They tell themselves they'll start the business once they know it will be successful. They'll pursue their dream once they know it's going to work. They'll take the leap once they're sure they won't fail. But that moment of absolute certainty never comes. There will never be a time when you know everything in advance. The only way to create clarity is by moving forward, by taking action, by embracing the unknown and figuring it out as you go. The people who achieve great things in life aren't the ones who had all the answers from the start. They're the ones who were willing to start without the answers. They were willing to take the leap, to take the risk, to face the uncertainty head on. Think about any major breakthrough you've had in life. It probably came after a period of uncertainty. Maybe it was a career change, a big decision, or a new opportunity that felt scary at first. In the beginning, you didn't know how things would turn out. But by stepping into that uncertainty, you discovered something new about yourself. You built confidence, you gained experience, and you found strength you didn't know you had. That's how growth happens. It's not comfortable, and it's not always easy, but it's always worth it. People fear uncertainty because they associate it with risk. They think that stepping into the unknown means putting themselves in danger, but the real danger is staying the same. The real risk is never growing, never evolving, never pushing beyond your current limits. Playing it safe might feel comfortable in the moment, but over time it leads to regret, it leads to stagnation, it leads to a life that feels small and unfulfilled. Everything you want in life exists outside of your comfort zone. The career you want, the relationships you want, the experiences you want, they all require you to embrace uncertainty. You have to be willing to walk into the unknown without guarantees. You have to be willing to trust yourself enough to take action even when you don't have all the answers. This is what separates people who grow from those who stay stuck. It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's the willingness to face uncertainty instead of running from it. When you embrace uncertainty, you become unstoppable. You stop waiting for permission. You stop needing guarantees. You develop the mindset that no matter what happens, you'll handle it. That kind of confidence doesn't come from knowing everything in advance. It comes from proving to yourself that you can navigate the unknown. The more you step into uncertainty, the more you realize that fear is just an illusion. Most of the things you're afraid of never actually happen. The obstacles you think are holding you back are usually just mental barriers. And once you push past them, you see that there was nothing to fear in the first place. Uncertainty is the path to mastery. Every skill you've ever learned, every success you've ever had started with uncertainty. When you first learned to walk, you didn't know if you would succeed. When you learned a new skill, you weren't sure if you would get it right, but through trial, through persistence, through stepping into the unknown, you figured it out. That's how everything works. The only way to master something is to start before you're ready. The problem is that society conditions people to seek security. From a young age, people are taught to follow predictable paths, to avoid risk, to stick to what's safe. But the people who make the biggest impact, the people who change the world, are the ones who break free from that conditioning. They embrace uncertainty. They take bold action. They trust themselves even when they don't have all the answers. One of the greatest skills you can develop is the ability to be comfortable with uncertainty. Instead of seeing it as something to fear, you see it as an opportunity. Instead of waiting for perfect conditions, you take action now. You understand that nothing great happens inside your comfort zone, so you intentionally push yourself beyond it. The more you do this, the more unstoppable you become. Uncertainty forces you to be present. When you don't know exactly what's coming next, you have to focus on what's in front of you. You have to take things one step at a time. This is one of the reasons why uncertainty leads to growth. It keeps you engaged. It keeps you aware. It keeps you moving forward without overthinking the future. Most of the stress people feel comes from trying to control things that are out of their hands. But when you accept uncertainty, you let go of that need for control. You focus on what you can do right now, and that creates momentum. Every major breakthrough in history has come from someone who is willing to step into uncertainty. Every new invention, every revolutionary idea, every great achievement happened because someone was willing to take a risk. They didn't have all the answers, they didn't know how things would turn out, but they took action anyway. That's the mindset that leads to greatness. The people who struggle the most in life are the ones who resist uncertainty. They stay stuck in the same patterns, doing the same things, expecting different results. They wait for perfect conditions that never come. They let fear of the unknown control their actions. But those who thrive, those who grow, those who succeed are the ones who embrace the unknown. They understand that uncertainty isn't a problem, it's an opportunity. They don't need all the answers before they start. They take the first step, then figure out the rest along the way. Most of the limits people place on themselves are self-imposed. They tell themselves they can't do something because they don't know how, because they're not ready, because the timing isn't perfect. But the truth is, they're just afraid of uncertainty. Once you let go of that fear, you realize that there are no real limits. The only limits are the ones you accept. Growth requires uncertainty because without it, there is no challenge, no learning, no evolution. The more you embrace uncertainty, the more you grow. The more you step into the unknown, the more confident you become. The more risks you take, the more you realize that you are capable of handling anything. The path to success, to fulfillment, to greatness is paved with uncertainty. The only question is whether you're willing to walk that path. Pain is an unavoidable part of life. Everyone experiences it in different forms: physical, emotional, mental. It can stem from loss, failure, disappointment, or even the simple struggle of trying to grow. Pain is universal, but how it is perceived and handled is deeply personal. For some, pain becomes a barrier, something that holds them back and keeps them stuck. For others, pain becomes a catalyst for growth, a motivator to push forward, and a teacher that offers valuable lessons. The key difference lies in how pain is understood and approached. When you see pain as something to be avoided, it becomes your enemy. But when you embrace it as a natural part of life and growth, it becomes a powerful force for transformation. Pain is one of life's greatest teachers. It forces you to confront your limitations, your fears, and your vulnerabilities. It shines a light on the areas of your life that need attention and improvement. While comfort allows you to coast along, pain forces you to take action. It demands that you grow, adapt, and evolve. The lessons pain teaches are often difficult to accept in the moment, but they are the ones that shape you the most. They teach you resilience, patience, and strength. They remind you that you are capable of enduring more than you think, and that growth is often born from discomfort. When pain is viewed through the right lens, it becomes a signal rather than a punishment. It's a way of the universe telling you that something needs to change. If you touch a hot stove, the pain teaches you to pull your hand away and avoid it in the future. Emotional pain works the same way. It can show you the relationships, habits, or environments that are not serving you. It can push you to step out of toxic situations or to reassess your priorities. Pain isn't there to break you. It's there to guide you. But to receive its guidance, you have to be willing to face it rather than run from it. People often make the mistake of trying to numb or avoid pain. They distract themselves with temporary pleasures, bury their emotions, or try to escape through unhealthy coping mechanisms. But avoiding pain only prolongs it. The more you run from it, the more it chases you. Pain that is suppressed doesn't disappear, it lingers, growing stronger over time. It manifests in different ways: stress, anxiety, frustration, until it is finally acknowledged and addressed. By facing pain head on, you give yourself the chance to process it, to learn from it, and to grow beyond it. Pain also serves as a reminder of your humanity. It connects you to others by reminding you that everyone experiences struggles. It creates empathy, allowing you to understand the challenges others face because you've been through your own. Pain has a way of breaking down barriers and bringing people closer. It creates moments of vulnerability where true connection is formed. In this way, pain not only shapes you as an individual, but also strengthens your relationships with others. It reminds you that you're not alone and that everyone is fighting their own battles. Growth through pain is not just about enduring it, it's about finding meaning in it. Some of the most profound transformations happen when you take the lessons pain has to offer and apply them to your life. Pain can teach you what truly matters, helping you let go of superficial concerns and focus on what's important. It can show you your own strength, proving that you are capable of overcoming challenges you once thought were insurmountable. It can even inspire you to help others, using your experiences to guide and support those who are going through similar struggles. Pain also has the power to ignite change. When you're comfortable, you're less likely to take risks or challenge yourself. Pain disrupts that comfort, forcing you to take a closer look at your life and make necessary adjustments. It's often during the most difficult moments that people discover their true potential. The struggle pushes them to dig deep, to find resources within themselves they didn't know existed. Pain becomes the fuel for action, the motivator to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. One of the most important lessons pain teaches is that it is temporary. In the moment, pain can feel all-consuming, as if it will last forever, but nothing in life is permanent, including pain. It ebbs and flows like waves in the ocean. Recognizing this impermanence can help you endure even the most challenging moments. It reminds you that there is light on the other side of the darkness, that the struggle is only part of the journey, not the entire story. This perspective gives you hope and the strength to keep going, even when the road ahead feels uncertain. Pain also helps you build resilience. Each time you face and overcome a painful experience, you become stronger. You develop the ability to handle future challenges with greater ease. Resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you build over time through hardship and adversity. Every struggle you endure adds another layer to your strength. It reminds you that you've been through tough times before and made it through, and you can do it again. Resilience becomes a shield, not to block pain entirely, but to help you navigate it more effectively. Another gift of pain is the clarity it brings. It strips away distractions and forces you to focus on what truly matters. When you're in pain, the trivial concerns of daily life often fade into the background. You're left with a raw, unfiltered view of your priorities, your goals, and your values. Pain has a way of simplifying life, reminding you of what's really important. It gives you the opportunity to reassess and realign, to let go of what no longer serves you and move closer to what does. Pain is also a reminder of your capacity for growth. It shows you that you are not static, that you have the ability to adapt, to change, and to evolve. The person you become after going through pain is often stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than the person you were before. Pain transforms you in ways that comfort never could. It pushes you beyond your limits, expanding your understanding of yourself and the world around you. It teaches you that growth is not linear and that progress often comes with setbacks, but those setbacks are part of the process. Pain demands patience. Growth doesn't happen overnight, and healing takes time. Pain teaches you to be patient with yourself and with the journey. It reminds you that rushing through the process won't lead to meaningful change. You have to sit with the discomfort, to let it do its work, to allow the lessons to unfold in their own time. This patience cultivates a deeper sense of trust in yourself and in the process of life. It teaches you to surrender to the moment, knowing that every challenge is a step toward growth. Through pain, you discover your capacity for courage. Facing pain requires bravery, especially when it feels overwhelming. Each time you confront pain, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fears. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to move forward despite it. Pain gives you the opportunity to practice this courage, to show yourself what you're truly capable of. It's in those moments of bravery that you find your greatest strength. Pain also encourages gratitude. When you've experienced hardship, you gain a deeper appreciation for the moments of joy, peace, and connection in your life. Pain reminds you not to take those moments for granted. It creates a contrast that makes the good times even more meaningful. Gratitude becomes a powerful tool for navigating pain, shifting your focus from what's wrong to what's right, from what you've lost to what you still have. The lessons pain teaches are not always immediately clear. Sometimes it takes time and perspective to understand its purpose. But when you look back on the most challenging moments of your life, you often see how they shaped you in ways you never expected. Pain may not be welcome in the moment, but it is often the catalyst for the growth and transformation that lead you to where you're meant to be. It is through pain that you find your strength, your purpose, and your ability to rise above. Understood. Here's the expanded text for Keynote 5. Faith is not about having all the answers, it's about trusting the process even when you don't understand what's happening. Life often presents challenges, obstacles, and situations that don't make sense at the time. In those moments, it's easy to feel lost, confused, or even defeated. But faith reminds you that there's a bigger picture, something greater at work that you may not yet see. It's the belief that everything happens for a reason, even if that reason isn't immediately clear. Faith is about holding on to the conviction that life has a way of working things out, that setbacks are setups for comebacks, and that every challenge carries a hidden lesson or blessing. Faith doesn't eliminate fear, it gives you the courage to face it. When uncertainty looms or when things seem to be falling apart, faith acts as an anchor. It keeps you grounded, reminding you that even in the chaos, there is order. It's not about pretending that fear or doubt don't exist. It's about choosing to move forward despite them. Faith gives you the strength to take the next step even when you don't know where the path leads. It's the quiet voice that tells you to keep going, to keep believing, and to trust that you are being guided. Faith is not passive, it's active. It's not just about waiting for things to improve. It's about taking action with the belief that your efforts will bear fruit. When you have faith, you don't sit back and hope for the best. You do your part, trusting that the universe will meet you halfway. Faith inspires persistence, resilience, and determination. It encourages you to show up, to try again, to give your best effort, even when the odds seem stacked against you. It's the driving force behind every great achievement because it allows you to envision possibilities beyond your current circumstances. One of the most powerful aspects of faith is its ability to transform your perspective. When you look at life through the lens of faith, challenges become opportunities and failures become stepping stones. You stop seeing obstacles as barriers and start seeing them as tests of your strength and character. Faith shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's possible, from scarcity to abundance, and from fear to hope. It changes the way you approach life, infusing even the most difficult situations with a sense of purpose and possibility. Faith is deeply personal, but it's also universal. Everyone experiences moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty, and faith is what helps you navigate those moments. It's not confined to any specific religion, belief system, or philosophy. It's a universal force that transcends boundaries. Faith is the belief that you are part of something greater, that your life has meaning, and that there is a higher purpose guiding you. It's what connects you to others and to the world around you, reminding you that you are never truly alone. Faith often requires surrender, and surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the need to control everything. So much of life is beyond your control, and trying to micromanage every detail only leads to frustration and stress. Faith invites you to release that need for control and trust that things will unfold as they're meant to. It's about accepting that you don't have all the answers, and that's okay. Surrendering to faith doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you stop resisting. It It means you stop fighting against what is and start working with it. The beauty of faith is that it doesn't require proof. You don't need evidence to have faith because it's not based on logic or reason. It's based on trust. Faith is what allows you to believe in the unseen, to hope for the impossible, and to dream beyond your current reality. It's what keeps you moving forward when everything else tells you to stop. Faith is not a guarantee, but it is a promise that if you keep going, if you keep believing, things will eventually work out in ways you never imagined. Faith also teaches patience. In a world that values instant gratification, faith reminds you that some things take time. Growth, healing, and transformation don't happen overnight. Faith helps you wait with grace, trusting that what's meant for you will come in its own time. It teaches you to be present, to focus on what you can do today while trusting that tomorrow will take care of itself. Patience doesn't mean passivity. It means staying committed to the process even when progress is slow. Faith is often tested in the face of adversity. It's easy to have faith when things are going well, but true faith is revealed when life gets tough. When everything feels uncertain, when the future looks bleak, when you're faced with loss or failure, that's when faith becomes most important. It's what sustains you when nothing else can. Faith doesn't promise a life free from pain or struggle, but it does promise that you'll have the strength to endure. It reminds you that no matter how dark things may seem, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Faith also fosters gratitude. When you have faith, you begin to see the blessings in every situation, even the challenging ones. You start to recognize that every experience, no matter how difficult, has something to teach you. Faith helps you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, on what's going right rather than what's going wrong. Gratitude and faith go hand in hand because both require you to trust in the goodness of life. They remind you that even in the hardest times, there is something to be thankful for. Another remarkable quality of faith is its ability to inspire others. When you live with faith, you become a source of strength and hope for those around you. Your belief in something greater gives others permission to believe as well. Faith is contagious. It spreads from person to person, lifting spirits and igniting courage. By choosing faith, you not only transform your own life, but also impact the lives of those who witness your journey. You become a beacon of light in a world that often feels dark and uncertain. Faith is also a practice. It's something you cultivate and strengthen over time. Like a muscle, faith grows with use. The more you lean into it, the stronger it becomes. Every time you face a challenge and choose faith over fear, you build your capacity to trust. Every time you take a step into the unknown, you reinforce your belief that you are supported. Faith isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something you develop through intentional choice and action. One of the greatest gifts of faith is the sense of peace it brings. When you have faith, you stop worrying so much about the future. You stop trying to predict every outcome or control every situation. Instead, you trust that things will work out as they're meant to. This trust doesn't eliminate challenges, but it does make them easier to bear. It gives you a sense of calm in the midst of chaos, a feeling of steadiness even when the world around you feels uncertain. Faith is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's not about never doubting or never feeling afraid. It's about choosing to believe despite those feelings. Faith is what helps you keep going when you want to give up. It's what gives you the strength to rise after every fall, to try again after every failure, and to hope after every heartbreak. Faith reminds you that setbacks are not the end of the story. They are just a part of the journey. Faith also opens the door to possibility. When you believe in something greater, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You start to take risks, to dream bigger, to step outside your comfort zone. Faith gives you the courage to pursue what you truly want, even when it feels scary or uncertain. It reminds you that the greatest rewards often come on the other side of fear. Ultimately, faith is a choice. It's a decision to trust in the unknown, to believe in something greater than yourself, and to keep moving forward no matter what. Faith doesn't make life easier, but it does make it richer. It fills your journey with hope, courage, and meaning. It's the quiet strength that carries you through the storms, the guiding light that leads you toward your purpose, and the unwavering belief that no matter what happens, everything will be okay. Got it. Here's the expanded text for one more keynote. Life is a journey of constant transformation, a process of becoming. Every experience, every challenge, every triumph, and every setback is shaping you into the person you are meant to be. Growth is not a destination, it is an ongoing process, a never-ending evolution. The key to true transformation is embracing the journey rather than resisting it. Too often, people cling to the past, hold on to old identities, or resist change because it feels uncomfortable. But the greatest breakthroughs happen when you surrender to the process of growth, allowing yourself to evolve, to let go of what no longer serves you, and to step into the unknown with courage. Transformation is not about becoming someone new. It is about uncovering the strength, wisdom, and potential that have always been inside you. Change is inevitable, but growth is a choice. Life will present opportunities for you to evolve, but it is up to you to embrace them. Growth requires effort, intention, and a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. Comfort is familiar, but it is also limiting. Growth happens when you challenge yourself, when you push beyond your fears, and when you take risks, even when you are uncertain of the outcome. The most successful and fulfilled people in the world are not those who have avoided failure or hardship, but those who have used those experiences as fuel for transformation. They understand that every obstacle is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to become stronger. True transformation begins with self-awareness. You cannot grow if you are not willing to look within and confront the parts of yourself that need to change. This requires honesty, humility, and the courage to face your fears, your weaknesses, and your past mistakes. Many people avoid self-reflection because it is uncomfortable. It is easier to blame external circumstances, to make excuses, or to stay distracted. But real growth comes when you take full responsibility for your life. When you acknowledge that your thoughts, actions, and beliefs shape your reality. The moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as the creator of your own destiny, everything changes. Transformation is not an overnight process. It takes time, patience, and persistence. People often give up too soon because they expect instant results. But growth is like planting a seed. It takes time for roots to form before you see anything above the surface. The most important changes often happen beneath the surface, in the moments when you feel like nothing is happening. Every small step, every decision to keep going, every moment of resilience adds up over time. Those who succeed are not necessarily the most talented or the most fortunate. They are the ones who refuse to quit, who keep pushing forward even when progress is slow. One of the most powerful aspects of transformation is the ability to rewrite your story. Many people are trapped by the narratives they have created about themselves. They define themselves by their past mistakes, their failures, or the limitations placed on them by others. But the past does not define you. What you choose to do today does. You have the power to change the narrative, to create a new vision for your life, and to step into the person you are meant to become. It requires letting go of old identities, shedding the beliefs that no longer serve you, and giving yourself permission to evolve. Transformation also requires resilience. Life will test you. You will face setbacks, disappointments, and moments of doubt. The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck is not the absence of challenges, but the way they respond to them. Resilient people understand that setbacks are not failures, they are lessons. They use every challenge as an opportunity to strengthen their mindset, to develop new skills, and to become more adaptable. Resilience is built through adversity, through the decision to rise after every fall, and through the unwavering belief that no obstacle is greater than the power within you. Fear is one of the biggest barriers to transformation. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. It keeps people stuck in the same patterns, afraid to take risks or pursue their dreams. But fear is not a signal to stop. It is a signal to grow. Fear shows up when you are stepping outside of your comfort zone, and that is exactly where growth happens. Instead of seeing fear as a barrier, see it as a guide. When you feel fear, it means you are on the edge of something great. The key is to move forward anyway, to take action despite the fear, because courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something else is more important than the fear. Surrounding yourself with the right people is crucial for transformation. Growth is difficult when you are surrounded by negativity, by people who doubt you, or by those who are not growing themselves. The people you spend time with influence your mindset, your energy, and your beliefs. If you want to grow, seek out those who inspire you, who challenge you to be better, and who support your journey. Success leaves clues. Learn from those who have achieved what you aspire to. Be intentional about your environment because it has the power to lift you up or hold you back. Transformation is also about embracing failure as part of the process. People often see failure as the end, but in reality, it is just feedback. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, to adjust, and to improve. The most successful people in the world have failed more times than others have even tried. They understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth. It is simply a stepping stone on the path to success. The only true failure is giving up. If you keep going, keep learning, and keep growing, every setback will eventually lead to a breakthrough. A powerful part of transformation is learning to let go. Letting go of old habits, limiting beliefs, toxic relationships, and anything that no longer serves your growth. Many people hold on to things that are keeping them stuck because they are familiar, even when they are harmful. Growth requires making space for the new by releasing what is no longer aligned with who you are becoming. It means forgiving yourself for past mistakes, releasing resentment, and choosing to move forward with a fresh perspective. Self-discipline is another key element of transformation. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what keeps you moving forward. The most successful people are not always the most motivated. They are the most disciplined. They show up even when they don't feel like it. They do the work even when it's hard. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. It is what separates those who dream from those who actually succeed. Building discipline requires consistency, setting clear goals, and holding yourself accountable. Transformation is not just about personal success. It is about impact. When you grow, when you evolve, when you step into your true potential, you inspire others to do the same. Your journey can be a source of motivation for those around you. By choosing to grow, you give others permission to do the same. The most powerful leaders are those who have gone through their own transformation, who have faced adversity, overcome challenges, and now use their experiences to lift others up. Ultimately, transformation is about becoming the best version of yourself, not in comparison to anyone else, but in alignment with your own unique path. It is about continuous learning, constant evolution, and the courage to keep growing no matter what. It is about trusting the journey, embracing the process, and believing in the limitless potential that exists within you.